All right. Well, welcome. Thank you for going to practice. So, we're going to start standing today and standing in an ordinary way with no special standing or yoga forms or movements quite yet. And just checking in with how feet contact the floor, registering where the support falls, not having to change it or shift it or move it in any way quite yet. Having taken that snapshot, then perhaps folding both of your knees lightly, kind of folding and straightening. Remember the days when you'd go to the end of the diving board and you'd kind of bounce to check the spring in the diving board? A little bit of that right here. Just a little bit of a bounce, a check. And then letting that trail off and once again checking in with connection to the ground. And if comfortable, letting your eyes close. Letting jaw release. A little bit of space between your teeth. And tongue rest into that lower jaw. Breathing in through your nose. Let that incoming air first be heavy on your tongue. Slide down the back of your windpipe into the back of your rib cage. And then leave by that same route. Just a few breaths in this awareness. Jaw relaxed, tongue released. Incoming air. And exhale. Heavy on your tongue. Almost like a preamble to putting something in your mouth. All right. And letting that awareness fade away, opening your eyes and beginning to engage a little bit more open vision, peripheral vision, perhaps able to see the ceiling and the floor and both sides. And then through that open vision, inhale, catching sight of the hands as they sweep up towards the ceiling. Exhale, come on down. So keeping that pretty much unfocused, open peripheral vision. Seeing side to side and up and down. Arms, hands just moving through the edges of that more open space. Next time, arms sweep up, we'll lift heels as well. So arms up, heels up, and coming back on down. Best you can, keeping that open vision. Arms just gliding through the periphery. Okay. Next time, arms come down, just pausing there. And through the next few minutes, if possible, keeping that more open vision as you tip head to the right, come up center, side tip to the left. And side tipping in a way that brings ear in alignment with shoulder. Sometimes it's tempting to let head fall forward a bit in order to tip farther. But how far you tip isn't all that important. The alignment is the key to getting those cervical neck vertebra freed up a bit. Coming up center. And then it's bringing arms to a goalpost position. And inhale, elbows together, hands together, elbows apart, hands apart. So Let's step back just a bit here. So this kind of wave motion with arms coming together and going apart. And next time arms are apart, pausing there. Elbows at shoulder height and then just tipping forward and back. Yeah, and again, open awareness if possible. Hands moving through that peripheral vision. Next time, tipped forward, pausing there, bringing fingertips together in front and arms out to the side. So you might be able to follow those hands moving out to the side through your peripheral vision, widening things just a bit more. And next time, arms are out to the side, pausing there. And then we'll drop right arm in front, left arm behind. And turning your torso to follow the movement of that forward sweeping arm, front sweeping arm. Okay. Maybe one more. Letting arms release on down, taking a little bit of a wider stance, just a bit wider than shoulders. And on an inhale, sweeping arms up. And wide vision, peripheral vision, exhale, arms down, folding knees, seat coming down. So up and down like that, like we've done many times before. Only this time, see if hands can move through that open vision space right out at the edges. Okay. And next time we come up, again pausing there. And stepping feet together, hands on hips, and we'll do those hip circles. In addition to perhaps keeping a wider visual perspective, maybe noticing how support shifts, which hip takes the support as hip goes out to the side. Is it the out to the side hip that takes the support going in both directions? Or is it the other hip? Which one? Just a moment of awareness. Coming up straight, pausing there. Bringing hands to knees, aligning. Hips, shoulders, and ears. And on an exhale, rounding your back, looking down. Inhale, lifting. Yeah. So that wide open vision, pretty much left. When head starts to move, but it's not impossible to perhaps still see sides of the room. Even as you inhale, arch, exhale, round. Next time we round, let's just bring hands all the way to the ground. And same hip tipping movement here. Just a couple of folds and arches and coming to hands and knees. Same movement. Exhale, rounding. Inhale, arching. Cat pose, cow pose. So this particular sequence, we often do it. I do it in my own daily practice. Just a good way to begin to free things up a bit. And also perhaps bring some particular awareness. Letting that movement trail off and taking knees back, away from your hands, 6-8 inches, seat coming back as well. So then seat back and coming forward, aligning knees, hips, shoulders, and ears. Going on back. So it's exhale back, inhale forward. Next time you come through the center, pausing there, and we'll take the left knee forward 3 or 4 inches, and then take hips back, and then take hips forward. Remember a moment ago we were doing those hip circles. We made a determination perhaps which hip was supporting. What's that like here? When hips come forward, it might be the forward knee that takes the support. And when hips go back, it could be back knee that takes the support. Let's see if that's true on the other side. So aligning knees first and then left knee forward, right knee forward, other knee forward. Just staggered knees, chakra vikasana. Checking in with how support shifts from one side of your hips to the other. And then finding neutral, bringing both hips, both sides of your hips forward. Exhale, lowering on down. Going back on your hands, coming back up, and pushing back to child's pose. Beginning this little bit of a flow here. And you're welcome to continue moving from knees. If you'd like a little bit more challenge, that would be next time you come forward, lifting knees before lowering down, drawing forward and up, hands and knees, and then let's all find downward facing dog. Coming back one more time. Again, coming forward, either knees stay down or lift. Before lowering, coming forward and up, and finding downward facing dog. Back to hands and knees, stepping forward, forward fold. Hips tipping forward to lift, hips tipping back to fold. Inhale, sweep all the way up. Okay. So heading for the floor one more time. And free to use that open vision, peripheral vision as you inhale, arms up. Also as you inhale, exhale and fold. Bit of a lift, inhale, upside down, exhale, coming to hands and knees. Downward facing dog. And then back to hands and knees. And last time, straight arm plank either from feet or knees. Forward, down, drawing up and back. Last dog. Coming to hands and knees and coming seated. So, coming seated. Left leg straight out along the floor, grabbing in behind the knee of your right leg. And we're going to use that right leg as a lever to roll down one vertebra at a time. You don't have to go all the way down, head on the floor down. Going back far enough so that you can come up. That's the thing. Find that point of engagement for you that lets that levering leg roll you down and up. And next time you roll back down, how about we all come all the way down, head on the floor. And then just rather than grabbing in behind your leg, just hands lightly supporting that perpendicular thigh. And then it's drawing toes towards your knee. Extending heel out, heel coming up to the ceiling, and pointing toes, toes coming back. So up and down like that. Remember how we started. One of the things we did pretty early on was releasing jaw and tongue. So if you find that throat is starting to grip just a bit, perhaps jaw trying to help make this movement as well, no problem. Just see if you can let that engagement go. Next time, toes, foot comes down, toes are pointed, taking foot back up, toes stay pointed. So toes pointing up, and then toes towards your knee, heel leads the way down. So same movement, just reversing the ankle flexion. The next time, leg is up, toes are pointed up. We'll do a few ankle circles, toes drawing a big toe, drawing a circle on the ceiling going in both directions. Yeah. And again, checking to see if somehow throat and jaw want to help out. But they don't really need to. Bringing that leg on down. And then using that leg as a lever again, or you could roll to your side to come up. Same sequence on the other side. So remember how we started, it was with that one leg rolling down, beginning to engage some core strength. And you're always free anytime during the practice to engage that wider sense of vision, even momentarily. Next time we come down and leg is up, thigh is perpendicular, resting on the floor and just letting hands lightly support that perpendicular thigh as heel leads the way up and toes lead the way down. So same thing on this side. Not having to do too many repetitions, really going for quality of movement, slow, smooth, and strong, rather than quantity. So next time, foot is down, toes are pointed, then toes lead the way up, pointing towards the ceiling. Flexing, heel comes down. Next time, leg goes up, toes are pointed up. A few ankle circles, drawing circles on the ceiling with your big toe. Leg stays steady, so it's just a movement in the ankle, although with hands lightly supporting, you might notice quite a bit of leg strength engagement, even in your thigh. Okay, bringing that leg on down. So both knees folded, both feet on the floor. And on an exhale, flattening lower back into the floor and inhale, releasing. So similar hip tipping to what we did a bit earlier. Exhale, rounding lower back, flattening into the floor. Inhale, releasing. And next time, lower back flattens on the exhale. See if you can keep that flat back as you lift hips up to the ceiling. Release them back on down. So a couple of those movements. You may notice that when you exhale to flatten your back, abdominal strength gets engaged. Keep that strength engagement not only as you go up, but as you come down as well. Maybe just one more time. Exhale, flattening, strength, lifting, strength, lowering. Okay, draw knees. rolling to your left side with legs at a 90-degree angle to torso, thigh, and lower leg. And then just resting your head on your lower arm. We'll do just a few movements here. And that's going to be ankles stay down, upper leg delifting and coming down. And along the way, not letting gravity take over to come down. See if that coming down part could be just ever so slightly slower than the lifting up part. And next time, knee comes down, pausing there, and we'll just lift ankle. Knee stays down, foot lifting and lowering. Lowering just a little bit slower than lifting. And welcome to continue moving in this way. A little bit more challenge would be whole leg lifting and whole leg lowering. Yeah, I haven't said anything about breathing. Maybe on the other side. We'll do the other side in just a moment here. That's probably enough. Leg resting down. And then either just rolling all the way over onto the other side. I'm going to switch ends here, so don't look away. Same thing on this side. Only this side will perhaps engage breath in a little different way. So see if inhale can begin first. Inhale begins, knee begins to lift. Knee lifted all the way, keep inhaling, and now exhale begins, knee begins to come down. So that your breath is a little bit longer than the movement. Begins before the movement, lasts just a moment after you stop moving. All right, free to keep moving, just knee up and down, ankle staying down, or you could keep knee down, lifting ankle and foot. Yeah, with breath a little bit longer than movement. Kind of expanding awareness on either end of the movement. And again, free to keep moving either from knee down or foot down, or you could take whole leg up and down. Just a few times. Yeah. All right. Next time we come on down, pausing there. And rolling up onto hands and knees. And stepping forward, forward fold. An opportunity to engage peripheral vision as you inhale, sweep it all the way up. Okay. Let's take a wide stance with toes and legs pointed out, hands at heart, and then we'll alternately lift heels, let knees fold. So heels lifting, knees folding. And then we'll lift both heels, both knees folding, seat coming down and back. Inhale up. Yeah. So heels getting light to come down, heels drawing together to come up. And we'll add the arm movement. So next time we're down, arms down. And then inhale coming up. We previewed this a little bit earlier. And I mentioned the opportunity to again gauge that peripheral vision. See not only hands moving through the sides of your vision, but ceiling and floor in the scope of awareness as well. All right. Next time we come up, we'll just bring arms down without looking at the floor or your legs at all, keeping your gaze up where it was. Right toes turning in, left toes turning out. And then noticing how support lands primarily under the heel of that forward leg, with leg all the way straight. And it's just bringing knee forward until you feel support to come into the forefoot. Pausing there, pausing with knee forward, support under forefoot. And then begin to draw your knee back until you feel support under that whole foot, even out a bit. So that you have a sense knee might be over the center of your foot. Bringing that same awareness now to the back foot. Bringing hands to heart, lifting elbows, and using peripheral vision if possible. When you separate your hands, using peripheral vision if possible to let gaze follow nose. Nose is going to turn towards the left for just a moment, and then not letting eyes lead the way. See if nose can lead the way, turning back forward, bringing hands to heart, pressing down to come up. And we'll just, without looking at the floor, now turn both toes forward, and then left toes in, right toes out. And then it's bringing that front knee now, right knee forward till support lands in the forefoot. And bringing the knee back to a place where support begins to shift in that forward foot from forefoot a little bit more equally into heel. Things about even in front. See if you can bring that same awareness now to the back foot. And then it's lifting elbows, separating hands, engaging wider awareness in vision. Gaze follows nose as you turn to look. And seeing if it's possible to let gaze follow nose. Nose lead the way to come back forward, pushing down to come up. Without looking at the floor, step feet together. All right. Let's inhale, sweep up. Exhale, fold. Bit of a lift, inhale, upside down. Exhale, sweeping all the way back up. And let's see if we can do this without looking at the floor again. Shifting support into your right leg. And then left foot swiping back along the floor as if you were going to wipe off the bottom of your foot. And switching over, doing that same engagement movement on the other side. Without looking down at all, taking a wider stance. Both feet swiping back with hands on hips. Then folding, hinging to come down. And notice how when you came forward to come down, eyes wanted to lead the way. And they may do the same when you come up. They know where you're headed. They like to lead the way. So if possible, closing your eyes this time. Eyes closing. And under those closed eyelids, imagine that you're having that peripheral wide vision as you fold forward and come back up with eyes closed. And now just one more time, this time eyes open, and see if eyes can stay in that peripheral vision as you fold. Eyes not leading the way. As you come up, eyes not leading the way. Let's just go down one more time, see what happens. And then it's bringing Left hand to the floor and rotating, opening to the right. Lifting that right arm up and bringing it back on down. I just want to lead the way, see if perhaps they don't have to as you go to the other side. Right hand down, left arm. And then coming back to center. One more time. Lifting with peripheral vision. And come on, stepping feet together. All right. Just checking my notes here to make sure we've got time to do everything. I think we do. Remember a while ago, we were on hands and knees on the floor. Knees were staggered a bit, and there was a invitation to awareness, how support was shifting in your hips. So let's see if we can bring that awareness back right here, hands to heart. And then we'll just fold both knees. Seat coming back to come down. Coming back up. So it could be exhale down. Inhale up. Sure enough, with feet aligned side by side, support in the hips is pretty much aligned, the same, side to side. Next time we come up, pausing there, stepping back with your left foot, just about a foot length, and folding again. Beginning to notice which hip takes the support. Stepping back just a little farther. Is it the foot that's forward, the hip, the leg on the forward, or in back? And then stepping all the way forward and lifting your heel. Same movement, now with just toes on the floor, heel lifted and going up and down. Beginning to step that heel lifted foot back, a little bit at a time, and checking to see now what just happened. Is it that stepping back side hip that takes the support, or is it the other one? Something may have changed. All right. Stepping that foot back all the way as far as it'll go. And then bringing the front knee forward. The back knee could still fold a bit, go down a bit. Wouldn't have to go all the way to the floor, but it could. See what's right for you. Just a couple of folds. And this time, both legs straight. Back leg stays all the way straight. This front knee comes forward. And we'll sweep those arms out to the side and up. Before bringing hands to heart, inclining your torso, shifting support forward, bringing the back foot forward, going to the other side. So a little bit of a study, if you choose to make it, is how support shifts and how it changes, whether whole foot is on the floor or just forefoot on the floor. Let's try the other side. So we'll step back with the left foot before folding both knees. And we'll do that same progression, foot going back gradually, just a little bit at a time, few inches at a time. Checking where support wants to come from as foot goes back, whole foot on the floor. Stepping forward and just forefoot on the floor, heel lifted, same leg stepping back. And seeing where, oh my gosh, what just happened? Where does support want to go now? Isn't that interesting? Just an indication, a glimpse of that internal harmony that is ever present. Body has its own intelligence. Foot going back all the way as far as it'll go. And knee folding, perhaps both knees folding to the place where engagement is right for you. Knee could come all the way down, doesn't have to. Next time we come up, both legs are straight. Back leg stays all the way straight, just front knee forward. Arms are going to sweep through the edges of peripheral vision. Inhale. And then it's hands to heart, inclining your torso, pouring support forward to come up. All right. Heading for the floor. Inhale, sweeping up. Exhale, folding. Bit of a lift. Inhale, upside down. Exhale, coming to kneeling. I used to say standing on your knees, but that was confusing for a lot of people. So knees on the ground, top of the feet on the ground, and hands to your hips just behind center line. Top of the feet lightly pressing down, lifting breastbone, chin, and gaze. Finding first layer of resistance. Exhale, releasing. And then it's taking the left hand to the floor, right leg straight out to the side. And then on an inhale, lifting leg, sweeping arm up and over. Exhale, coming on down. Yeah. And seeing if breath can be just a little bit longer than movement, so that inhale begins before leg and arm lift. Inhale continues after they stop. Exhale begins. Things come down. Letting your breath bookend this movement. One more movement, last movement. And then turning your gaze to look at the floor as you hold that up in the air. Exhale begins first. Things coming down. Going to the other side. So, same awareness on this side. You could start with it right away. Inhale begins before movement, and it continues for just a moment after. Exhale begins before movement continues. So the rhythm of your moving and breathing is going to have to be your own. You don't have to follow me. In fact, it may be almost impossible. All right, maybe just one more movement. Coming up, extending, turning to look at the floor. Beginning the exhale first before you come down. There you go. Once again, kneeling with hands just behind center line of hips. Top of the feet pressing down. Breastbone, chin, and gaze lifting. Looking, oh my goodness, what just happened? Yeah, another signpost of that intelligence inherent in your body. Exhale, coming on out. Okay. Coming seated, and I think we will employ the band if you have one. And if you don't have one or weren't able to get one, no, not to worry. You don't have to run off and try to find one unless you're watching the recording. You could stop things and go get one and come back. But for the rest of us, we're just going to come to a straight legs out seated form. Hands behind your hips to get a little bit taller in the torso before folding forward first. And then just letting hands slide forward, perhaps along your shins. Rounding, not grabbing or pulling in any way. So here we are. We've done a few movements already, quite a few perhaps, where heels were lifted when we were standing. That invited a particular engagement. Let's see if that same engagement could be present right here. And that would be heels pressing into the floor and toes pointing away, reaching away from your knees. Even if knees begin to lift, fold just a bit. That's fine. See if that toes pointing, heels pressing invites a little bit of forward movement. Maybe just a light invitation. Inhale, coming back up. And now it's time for the band with the strap. So those of us who have one, it's going to go around your forefoot. So not in the arch, but up there at the forefoot. Because when we get into the form, forefoot is going to press into the band, whether it's an elastic, regular yoga strap. Doesn't make any difference. Both ends of the strap, one end of the strap in each hand. Bringing that leg up and back to the first layer of resistance. First layer of resistance, kind of like we started on the floor with a moment ago. And then it's forefoot pressing into the band. And see if that invites the leg to come back just a little bit farther. Take both ends of the strap now in that up in the air leg side of the hand. Leg out to the side, back in. If you choose to synchronize this movement with your breathing, maybe exhaling out could last longer than the movement. Inhale coming in, last a bit longer. So it doesn't have to be a big movement. Breath a little bit longer than the movement. Bring some awareness to the beginning and end of the movement. Perhaps even the duration of it. We'll do the same thing on the other side. So it's about enough on this side. Just letting that leg come back on down. Maybe able to just step into the band, the strap, the towel. And if you don't happen to have one of those, that leg could just come straight up in the air, hands lightly supporting, kind of like we did earlier. Even without a band, toes could point, toes pointing. And see if that invites the, oh my goodness, the leg back just a little farther. And then with the arms out to the side. If you don't have a band, arms could tee out to the side. Leg goes out and in. Yeah. And even if you have a band, you might want to try this without using it. Arms out to the side in the T. Leg moving side to side. Movement a little bit shorter than the breath cycle. Okay. And the leg coming on down. Drawing both knees in towards your shoulders. Release for lower back. Okay. Rolling to one side, coming up, seated. Seated in a simple cross-legged form. So this whole idea of a wider visual perspective can be helped along by freeing up neck vertebra so that you may be more able to move your head and let vision stay wide. And the way we do that is we begin to free up neck vertebra by just lightly nodding your head up and down and beginning to incrementally make that movement smaller and smaller, so that if somebody was sitting across the room from you, they wouldn't really notice any movement at all. Just lightly lifting. It's as if a butterfly came around, landed on your nose, nose dipped down a bit. Butterfly flew away. Nose lifted a bit. So up and down, nodding, yes. And letting that movement trail off. And then it's a side to side movement. So ever so slightly, left to right. Again, incrementally smaller until someone sitting across the room, they wouldn't know you were moving at all. And then we combine those two movements into kind of a sideways figure eight infinity symbol. So nose making the infinity symbol, going up to the side, down, across, over, and up to the other side. Yep. Infinity symbol. Best you can without eyes leading the way. Perhaps eyes need to close so that eyes don't want to lead it. Going both ways with the infinity symbol, if possible. Yeah, so very small movement, engaging the very top vertebra. So that nodding movement was the top one. Atlas, side to side movement is the next one down. Axis. This infinity symbol gets both of them going. All right, letting all that movement trail off. And then bringing, without looking down at your hands or knees, bringing left hand to right knee, right hand comes behind. And seeing if gaze can follow nose, moving from the very top of your spine first, to turn to the right. Okay. Let's see, and again, if you can come back, moving from the very top, suspending hands first, coming back, eyes not leading the way. Let's try the other side. So right hand to left knee, left hand comes behind. Vision staying wide. Gaze follows nose. Top of the spine, turning first, very top. And then lifting hands, the very top, turning back to come out. All right. Sitting for a moment, if possible, with knees folded and feet on the floor. And then just rounding into those folded knees. And I happen to have very long arms, I can wrap my arms. If that's not available, just lightly holding the front of your legs. Rounding your head, folding forward. Kind of a sitting up, back rounded fold. Remember way back in the beginning, experimented with jaw release, little space between your teeth, and tongue resting in that lower jaw. And then it was inhale that comes in through your nose, lands heavy on your tongue, finds its way now to that very open back of the rib cage expanding, breath leaving by the same route from back there, heavy on your tongue before going out. So it's a kind of a combination breathing method, breath awareness method, and opening the back of your rib cage all the way up underneath armpits. All right, letting that trail on, just coming up. Well, keep legs folded as you come onto your back and roll onto your left shoulder as if you were going to sleep on your left side with legs folded. And then taking that top leg, right leg straight out away from your torso. And on the floor, left hand, holding down the straight out leg. Leg is going to try to lift, hand is going to hold it down as you open your torso towards the ceiling. Remember that breath we practiced just a moment ago, seated folded. See if that same awareness could be here. Leg out one way and arm out the other way. Perhaps that heavy on the tongue breathing. Breath going into the back of your rib cage. All right. Leg coming in, arm coming over. Trying the other side. So same movement, same form over there. And now it's the top leg is the left leg coming straight forward, and it's the on the floor arm, right arm that is going to try to hold it down as it begins to lift. Opening, reaching out the other direction. Noticing how with leg lifting, hand resisting, opposite arm reaching. When there's one of those longer inhales into the back of your rib cage, sense of resistance increases. But just as important, when you exhale, it releases. Increasing, releasing, bringing elasticity. Elasticity, useful in its ability to open. Yeah. All right. Leg coming in, arm coming over, rolling onto your back. Knees folded, soles of the feet on the floor. Or you could have legs straight out. Whichever feels more useful right now. And looking up at the ceiling with that peripheral vision, wide angle vision. Depending on the size of your room, you might be able to see all four walls. I can, but kind of a small one. And then drawing a circle on the ceiling with your nose, about a tea mug, coffee mug size circle. Drawing that circle, keeping that vision wide, going in both directions. And with vision wide, you're probably noticing a little bit the contact with the back of your skull to the floor. Letting that movement trail off. Now with eyes closed, but still in that open vision format. Maybe making a circle on the floor with the back of your skull. Tea mug size, coffee mug size. So moving from back there, back of the skull, vision wide, going in both directions. Before letting that movement trail off. The last few moments, nothing special to do. Mind may begin to wander. Let it do so. All right. Eyes are closed. Free to open your eyes. First transition is drawing knees in. Rolling to one side and coming up seated. Waiting for everyone to come seated. And we'll take a collective inhale. And exhale, hands to heart. Namaste. Thank you for coming to practice. Oh, and by the way, there'll be no live Zoom practice next week. Going to be absent for a week, so catching up with you again on March 31st. I think that'll be the 2-week Monday from now.